Yes, welcome to another edition of Smart Chat, and it is WrestleMania weekend. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be watching WrestleMania. A lot of people are in access to going to Hall of Fame, and you could tell that they are die-hard wrestling fans. But before WrestleMania, I'm sure everyone will be watching, I wanted to give you a fun little list of signs like me that, going back in the 80s, remember wrestling in the 80s, late 80s to early 90s, signs that you are a wrestling fan. Specifically, if you ever watch the old tapes, you're in my age bracket, an 80s wrestling fan. Some things that I think everyone knows, and it's a true sign that you are a 80s wrestling fan if the first twins you saw in wrestling were the Hebner referees after Earl screwed Hulk Hogan out of the WWF Championship in 1988. You also actually cared about the Honky Tonk Man. You cared that he had the longest Intercontinental Championship reign. And you remember seeing the Ultimate Warrior and that 15-month tenure in 30 seconds at the first SummerSlam. You feel also that Ted DiBiase Sr. far outshines Ted DiBiase Jr. Fact. Randy Savage's double axle handle from the top rope to the floor was the coolest flying move you've ever seen at that point. You loved also watching wrestling every Saturday morning, even if almost every single match was a squash match. You remember Jimmy Snuka, you thought that he was the coolest wrestling dude in 1982. Jerry Lawler really wasn't the real king in your eyes. It was clearly Harley Race, or Haku. Remember King Haku, King Harley Race. The Holy Trinity included Captain Lou Albano, Classy Freddie Blassie, and the Grand Wizard. You got pissed when someone bled in an angle on the syndicated shows and the WWF blocked the screen with a big red X. You could also definitely hum the theme for Saturday night's main event. The Hart Foundation matches with the British Bulldogs remain classic bouts. You recall when Rick Rude hit on Jake the Snake Roberts' wife. You winced when the WWF debuted the silly blue steel cage to replace the traditional chain link cage in 1986. You recall a newly bald superstar, Billy Graham, ripping apart Bob Backlund's WWF Championship belt. Who does not remember that? You know, two men were really called King Kong Bundy and Mosca. WrestleMania 3 in your eyes, just like mine, is still the best WWF WrestleMania ever. That's number 3. You remember almost every pay-per-view main event ended with the big boot and the leg drop. Hulkamaniac forever. You also know that Joe McHugh Hoss Funk, and Jose Luis Rivera. You know who they are. I'll leave you at that. Signs that you are a true wrestling fan. Also, before I leave you, I had one other thought come to mind. You remember when it was common for the crowd to loudly chant boring during bad matches, usually the ones that involved Barry O. You remember Barry O, Randy Orton's uncle? Look it up. Classic stuff as to why supposedly he got fired as well. So as you're going on watching WrestleMania, watching Access, I too will have a WrestleMania vid, not a review, no. Live reactions. Follow me on Twitter at SmarkChat. Send me email. All that good stuff is followed right after this video with descriptions below. And until next time, later, marks.